Hey everyone, I'm Tom from Invictus Interactive, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can create a simple health, hunger, and thirst vital system in Unity C#. So first off, we're going to create a new C# script, and let's call this Vitals Manager. And before we go into that and work in that, we're going to need to create a new UI, and let's select Canvas. And then in the canvas, we're going to need to create a new UI image. I'm going to change the source image to a knob and drop the color to black and just drop the opacity a little bit. Now I'm going to rename this to health background, and I'm going to duplicate this and call this health fill. And I'm going to change the color to red and up the opacity back to normal. I'm also going to change the image type to filled and fill method to vertical. Now I'm also going to need to create a new UI text element, and I'm going to center this, change the color to white, up the font size to 20, change horizontal overflow to overflow, and the same with vertical. And then I'll come in here and I'll change the text to 100. 100 is going to be the value we start with for the health image. It's just going to be obviously the max health is what the player starts on. So once you've done that, make sure that health fill is parented to health background, and then duplicate this, and let's call this hunger background. So now that's all done, we're going to go into the main camera. I'm going to drag the Vitals Manager we created and just drop it there. And then we'll open it up in Visual Studio, and we'll get started by deleting the two default methods. And what we're going to need to do is first we're going to import using the Unity engine.ui, and that's because we're working with UI text and images, so we'll need to be able to access and reference them. So starting off, we'll say public image, and we'll call this one health image. That's going to be how we control the display of what health the player is on. We'll also create a public text health text. Now we'll also need a private int max health, and then a private int current health, and then we'll do the same for the other two, and we'll say public image hunger image, public text hunger text, private int a max hunger, and then private int current hunger. And then lastly for the thirst, we'll say public image thirst image, public text thirst text, private int max thirst, and then private int current thirst. Now we'll need to go ahead and assign values to these. So we'll say max health will start being 100, and current health will also start being 100. I'm actually going to change all of these to floats. Alright, now I can go back and assign these. This is also going to be equal to 100, and it's obviously, we're setting it to 100 because we don't want it to, the maximum hunger, thirst, and health is going to be 100. And the reason that we're also setting the current values to that is because that's what they're starting on, and we don't want it to be starting at 50 or something like that. You can, if you want to, you can just change it, but just for this I'm going to start it at 100. So then I'll create a public void, and I'm going to call this vitals, and in here so we're going to manage the vitals. So we'll start by saying if current hunger is less than or equal to 0, and or in fact, or by putting in this here is that's basically just the or operator, and then we'll say current thirst is less than or equal to 0, And this is basically going to control the health, right? So hang on, we're just saying here, controls when we lose health. And the reason that we're saying that we lose health here is because the current, basically our current hunger value is 0, and all current thirst is 0, which means that we're dying from hunger or dying from thirst, and we need to represent that in the health, of course, as well as the other two. But we'll say current health minus equals time dot delta time divided by the health full rate. Actually, we're going to need a variable for that. Private float health full rate, and let's set that to 5f. Private float hunger full rate, and I'm going to set this to 10f. And then private float thirst full rate, and this can also be equal to 10f. And then now we'll say health full rate, and then I'm just going to times it by 2 or something like that. So now that's basically going to subtract current health. Well, it's basically going to subtract this value. So time to delta time, which is basically just seconds, like 1 second, divided by the health full rate, which is 5 times 2. So we're going to need to be able to display this in the UI. So we'll need to create another public void, and I'll call this update UI. And in here, we're going to say health image is equal to current health dot fill, right, oh sorry, it needs to be here. Health image dot fill amount is equal to current health, but we're also going to, because the range of fill amount is only 0 to 1, and we're working with values of 0 to 100, we're going to need to divide current health by 100 to display it, and then we'll just close that off there. So basically, as I said, we're converting current health to a 0 to, I can't type there, 0 to 1 range, because that's what fill amount only allows. Alright, so we also need to update the text, so we'll say health text.text is equal to mathf dot floor to int, and then in here we'll also say current health, and then we'll just add toString, and then we'll close that off. So basically what we're doing here is we're converting the float value of current health to an integer, because we don't want decimal places there, we just want to display the integer value, and then converting it to a string so we can display it in the text element. Now we also need to do that for the other two, so we'll say hunger image dot fill amount is equal to current hunger divided by 100, and hunger text dot text is equal to mathf dot floor to int current hunger to string. And then of course we'll have to do the same for thirst image dot fill amount is equal to current thirst divided by 100, and then thirst text mathf dot floor to int current thirst to string. Now we'll also want to call in an update method. We want to call vitals, I also want to call update UI. Okay, so now we've got that lowering, but we also want to lower the hunger and the thirst. So we'll need to say current thirst minus equal time dot delta time divided by the thirst flow rate, and I'll just set that equal to 5. And then we also need one for current hunger minus equals time dot delta time divided by the hunger flow rate times 5. But we also want to make sure that we don't go below 0, so we'll say if current thirst is greater than or equal to 0, then that's where we want to call this argument. Else, then we're going to set current thirst is equal to 0. And we'll do the same for the current hunger. Current hunger is greater than or equal to 0. And then else, and then I'll say current hunger is equal to 0. So we're going to do the same for this. If current health is greater than or equal to 0, then we're going to do this. Else, we are going to set the current health to 0, and we're going to print player is dead. Alright, so now we'll go back into Unity, and on here we'll be able to add the components. So I'll just jump in here and I'll select health fill, and I assume that'll be the top one. Hunger image, we'll select hunger fill. Hunger text will be the second one, and then thirst image, thirst fill, and then thirst text will be the last one. And now we should be able to see that once the health hits 0, which it will in a second, we'll be able to see oh, what happened here? Player is dead. Let's go check that out. That's the issue, right? So because there's 2 lines of code, I need to add that into the curly braces. So now if we come back here, now it should be working. So we'll just jump through this quickly. So as you can see, everything is working fine, and we'll be able to see in a sec if health is working fine, but it seems everything is working. And there we go, player is dead. And you see here that it's mixing between 0 and -1. Alright, so the reason that I think the flicker was happening was because we set it to greater than or equal to 0, then we're still trying to subtract it. But we don't want to do that. We only want to subtract the value if it's greater than 0. And then we want to get rid of it for current hunger as well, and also for current health. And now if we jump back into Unity and run it again, you should see that it won't flicker anymore once we get to 0. And we won't bother about showing that for the health as well. We'll just show it here, because that should, because like if it works here, it will also work for the health amount. And as you can see now, it's sticking to 0, and it doesn't flicker anymore. It doesn't show that -1, it's only showing 0. Alright, so that's how you can make a simple health, hunger and thirst vital system in Unity C#. If you found this helpful at all, and you enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.